failure is something we think about a lot because we hate it, but we don't talk about it a lot. So this is our first activity. What I want each of you to do is spend the next 2 minutes to think about a professional failure you've had. I do not want you to think about a romantic failure. I do not want you to think about some of those things you can't share. But I want you to think about a professional failure you've had, a business setback, a project that didn't meet us. These guys are talking romantic failures, right? But think about a business failure or setback that just didn't work out. And you'll see the instructions, they're right on the sheet. Why did that happen? Right? What did you learn from that? And then finally, how could you put that to work again? All right, let's wrap up in the next moment or two. Now, where are the people with the boxes? Okay, green box, this table here, please. What color box do you have? Blue box, right here to Philippe. Oh, we have the red, oh yeah, wait a minute, where's my red box? Red box right there at table 26. A number of common threads in the tables that I kind of sat down and listened to a little bit. What were the key takeaways? I'm going to ask just for some key takeaways, not the whole story, but some key takeaways. Philippe, what was your key takeaway? Maybe kind of a lesson learned and a takeaway. By the way, thanks for volunteering, even though I volunteered you, but thank you.
I got volunteered, yes. So my major takeaway was we developed an internal tool. And then what happened, we were so busy with developing features, we totally forgot to engage. Not totally, but way too much. So my takeaway was more internal marketing to drive adoption as early as possible. And I heard I'm not the only one, there seems to be other groups having the same challenge.
So what I'd like to do, I'd just like you all to spend a few minutes and think yourself about some of the kind of more outlandish types of ideas, the highly risky ones, still strategically on point, not completely out there in left field, still strategically on point, but things that you've been thinking about that you say, wouldn't it be great for us, and I'm going to frame it this way, to run an experiment, not to launch a new business, but to run an experiment, to run a pilot, to run a trial, to prototype, to talk to customers about this. And let's see what kind of list we can come up with in the next 5 minutes. And this is more of an individual exercise, and then we'll do a little bit with it. But this is one for you to keep to yourself. So if you have some confidential elements, don't worry about it. I'm not going to ask you to swap this with others. This is going to be a takeaway for you. Go ahead, start jotting down some of those kind of, what would we do if we knew it would succeed? Share with you a real-world situation that's very similar to this. Wells Fargo Bank, most of you are probably familiar with it, American Bank. This is their homepage, and you can see the different types of products and services that they have around there. Credit cards, student loans, along the bottom, on top, wealth management, insurance, et cetera, et cetera. So I was at recently a presentation that was being given around fintech, and this venture capitalist, this investor said, well, there's a Wells Fargo homepage, and here are just some of the companies that are being funded by us and our affiliated funds, and actually it's a little worse than this that are competing, and you can see we're all trying to carve out, each of these companies is trying to carve out one or two, and actually the landscape looks more like this. You guys are familiar with this, right? So if you're not innovating at a level that they are, how do you maintain competitive advantage? Especially when they're each focused on one particular area.